Yeezy season approaching, fuck whatever y'all been hearing. Fuck whatever y'all been wearing. A monster about to come alive again. Soon as I pull up and park the Benz, we get this bitch shaking like Parkinson's. Take my number and lock it in. Indian hair, no moccasins. It's too many hoes in this house of sin. Real nigga back in the house again. Black Tim's all on your couch again. Black dick all in your spouse again. And I know she like chocolate, man. She got more niggas off than Cochran, huh? On sight, on sight. How much do I not give a fuck? Let me show you right now for you give it up. How much do I not give a fuck? Let me show you right now for you give it up. Baby girl try and get a nut, and a girl try and give it up. Chop them both down. Don't judge them, Joe Brown. One last announcement, no sports ball, let's keep it bouncing. Everybody wanna live at the top of the mountain. Took her to the blue, she try to sip the fountain. That's when David Gutman kicked the out, but I got her back in and put my dick in her mouth. On sight, on sight. Uh-huh. 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 Right now, I need right now. Right now, I need right now. Right now, I need right now. Theme song, my leather black jeans on, my by any means on, part and I'm getting my scream on, into the kingdom, but watch it you bring home. You see a black man with a white woman at the top floor, they gon' come to kill King Kong. Middle America packed in, came to see me in my black skin. Number one question they asking, fuck every question you asking. If I don't get ran at my Catholics, it comes to conservative Baptists, claiming I'm overreacting like the black kids in Chirac, bitch. 4 in the morning, and I'm zoning, they say I'm possessed. It's the omen, I keep it 300, like the Romans, 300 bitches. We're the Trojans, baby, we living in the moment. I've been a menace for the longest, but I ain't finished. I'm devoted, and you know it, and you know it. So follow me up, cause this shit about to go. I'm doing 500, I'm out of control, but there's nowhere to go, and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would've been blacked out on your ass. 4 in the morning, and I'm zoning, they say I'm possessed. It's an omen, I keep it 300, like the Romans, 300 bitches. We're the Trojans, baby, we living in the moment. I've been a menace for the longest, but I ain't finished. I'm devoted, and you know it, and you know it. Stop all that coon shit, early morning cartoon shit. This is that goon shit, fuck up your whole afternoon shit. I'm aware I'm a wolf, soon as the moon hit. I'm aware I'm a king. Back out the tomb, bitch. Black out the room, bitch. Stop all that coon shit. These niggas ain't doing shit. Them niggas ain't doing shit. Come on, homie, what happened? You niggas ain't breathing, you gasping. These niggas ain't ready for action. Ready for action. 4 in the morning, and I'm zoning, I think I'm possessed. It's an omen, I keep it 300. Like the Romans, 300 bitches. We're the Trojans, baby, we living in the moment. I've been a menace for the longest, but I ain't finished. I'm devoted, and you know it, and you know it. So follow me up, cause this shit about to go. I'm doing 500, I'm out of control. But there's nowhere to go, and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would have been blacked out on your ass.
Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Blood on the leaves.
I just need to clear my mind now. It's been racing since the summertime. Now I'm holding down the summer now. And all I want is what I can't buy now. Cause I ain't got the money on me right now. And I told you to wait. Yeah, I told you to wait. So I'ma need a little more time now. Cause I ain't got the money on me right now. And I thought you could wait. Yeah, I thought you could wait. These bitches surrounding me. Oh, want something now, man. Then they talk about me. Would be lost without me. We could have been somebody. Thought you'd be different about it. Now I know you not it. So let's get on with it. We could have been somebody. Said you had to tell somebody. Let's take it back to the first party. When you tried your first Molly. It came out of your body. It came out of your body. Running naked down the lobby. And you were screaming that you love me. Before the limelight told ya. Before the limelight stole ya. Remember we were so young. When I would hold ya.
Good morning, everybody. What up, what up? All right. Chat, what up? Good morning. Yeah, I don't know why NFP is on a Tuesday today, but we're here. I think it's delayed, right? I think it's like a folder from. I think this is October's, because you had September's, like the last one was September's, and then this is October's. So the next one's gonna be November and December, but yeah, it's on a, or is it for December? This is 11 days late. I don't know. But yeah, you have NFP. So that's in 3 minutes. We'll see how that comes out, and then we'll see what we can do today. See what we can take from price. Why can't I minimize my zoom? That's weird. I send it. All right. So yeah, let's see what we can do today. I think it's just NFP, and then you have like some other flows afterwards, but price is pretty moving pretty decently right now. It looks like you kind of picked up in sorry, I don't know why it's a little different right now. But yeah, it looks like you picked up in volume during like 7 here, starting at 7. So that should continue to bring in more volume, add news if anything, and yeah. I'm just gonna mark up these zones real quick. So you have something down here that we can leave at like 46.70, 42.65. This is like 350 pips away. So there's something down there. Maybe I might move it down towards here. This looks like the next like strong body zone, like support. So 42.58. I'll leave it around here. And then we'll have something up here at 43.10, which is, I think that's the daily flip, right? So daily flips around there. Let's see. This could be a little higher though. 43.16, that's right there. 43.19. I think directionally wise, there's still like a slight possibility that, because this is the range that you were previously in, so there's like a slight possibility, just a slight possibility you can start breaking back into the range here if you start closing back below these zones here, because then there'll be a fake out and then you'll end up coming back into the range to fill it, right? So there's a possibility of doing that if you do start to close back below 42.95 post news or something. As of right now, it shows that we're holding. There hasn't really been any like type of pullbacks or anything just yet. You just had one straight pop up, so you can also get a bottom wick for news, and then as long as that holds, you'll be good to drive up, right? I guess that's what you're kind of like anticipating here. As long as you can hold these zones here at like 42.90, that this should be good to go up towards like 43.19, right? So I think it comes down to news, which is coming out right now. We'll see how that comes out. And yeah, next zone is like 43.19, so it's gonna be around 43.19.062. That's around here. It might be a little higher though. 43.22, 43.19. I'll leave it somewhere here, or yeah, 43.26. I'll leave it, because I don't think the resistance is too important. Like if you're bullish, you'll have like range all the way going up. I'm just trying to identify like at what point is price gonna struggle at, and I don't really see price struggling too much in these zones right here. I see it struggling. Sorry, I see it struggling more of over here instead. 42.26. Like there is some type of resistance here, but it's not too tough of like an area to break. Like if you're gonna continue up, 43.26 of anything above there should take you up towards the next zone, right? So there's nothing too special about anything going up. It's pretty bullish here. I think news came out. This thing popped at like 60 pips so far on the opening. So yeah, well, there's something here, but again, not too major. I'll put a zone there just so we can see, but I think 43.26 will be my major zone, and then afterwards we got like 42.56 as a support. And if you start breaking back below, what was it, these ranges here, below 42.91, then that's kind of your fake out type / closure back into the range, right? Obviously, like you want to see like price actually, close below, confirm that we're actually staying below those ranges, so we might get some top wicks, liquidity, whatever it is, and then you'll be good to drop through. All right, but yeah, news coming out. I'm guessing it came out negative, right? That's what it looks like. Came out core retail sales, so it's retail sales and NFP. What the retail sales? Okay, NFP, retail sales. I'm not fried, right? This is NFP. Non-farm implement change. I think it is. I mean, if it's not, we're here anyways. But yeah, retail sales, non-farm implement change, unemployment rates, average hourly earnings. Yeah, it sounds like NFP. But yeah, we'll just leave these zones here. I think price pushed up pretty decently on news here. This thing came up 100 pips, so it's not bad. 43.26, 43, 42.56. So 43.26, 42.56, 43.26, 26.56. 42.91, 42. Can I change this 91 zone? I think I might. 42.91 or not 91, 70, 79. I think we'll leave it. 91 and 14. 91, 14. Oh man. All right. So yeah, I'll leave these zones where they are, right? So news came out. Nothing I could really do about that. We're gonna wait for numbers to come out anyways. So what we're waiting for right now is just like for direction to form, right? So this push up is not bad from 42.72 going up. The only issue with the push up is that you don't have any type of confirmations that we're continuing up. In other words, you don't have any pullback, you don't have any liquidity on the way up. You can't just have like one push up. So since you only got like one push up, you're expecting price to create these pullbacks, right? So these zones become important, like these like minor zones here. I would say like 14 is a pretty minor zone. I don't think it's too major, but at that, if you came up from up here, or he has like some minor pullbacks here, nothing too crazy. You came up towards here just now. You're pulling back now towards here, so it's not directionally enough for me to take wick entry buys, because technically this is still somewhat bearish, the structure. So it's not bullish enough for me to take wick entry, like wick entry buys in terms of, oh nice, we're first initial pullback off of amount of resistance here. We can look for a wick entry buy to continue up, right? Because at the end of the day, this is still holding these zones to the left here. And since you're still holding these zones to the left here, so if I were to take this over here like this, right, you can see how like the structure is still bearish, right? All of this is still bearish coming down. You have like resistance right around here, so you're still below there, right? Which means that at any given point this can still continue down. So that's the idea behind these pullbacks and liquidity. It's for the fact that if you pull back, these are higher lows for you to continue up, right? Every time you pull back should be, why aren't you driving down, right? Why isn't price driving down? So if you pull back, let's say to like these zones, and you reject, you come up to retest the highs, right? Well, what's the point of it? It's a higher low, so then anything above that range could be good buys, or above that 28 zone. But if you pull back, and then next thing you know, you're starting to like break back into these ranges here, right? Because this is a range on its own, then what do you get? A fake out. So what's going to happen? You're likely going to continue to move down with the bearish trend, right? So the idea behind these pullbacks is just confirmations of direction. And yeah, whether we get wick entries or not. Right, I'll say wick entry buys are more so going to be above like 43.26. Above there looks a bit more bearish or bullish, because you're breaking through one. You broke through this. You're breaking through this, and then you'll have to break through this, right? So then anything above here just becomes like pretty straightforward when it comes to the direction, and then you should be good to go up towards like 43.50 or whatever next. Cool. So that's what I got on price today. Maybe you pull back just now for, what is this? Like 79 pips. So any like re-break at a high should take you above 14 here, and we should see more volume. So yeah, we'll see how these shits come out, or we'll see how the volume comes out here. If we get continuation, it wasn't bad though. Like this NFP was 100 pips. It's okay. It's nothing crazy. Kind of glitching. So we'll see if that picks up. Wait for 4 hour close? No. We can get it moved before the 4 hour close. But we just need to get these we need to see price start breaking above like 14, or we need to see, because right now I think he just made a zone right here at like 4303 zones. 4303 zones. So this is like the resistance that came off earlier, right? So the pullback came towards like, I think it was these zones. So you're in that range. So it's a matter now of like whether you start breaking back below like 4300 or like above 4314, right? That's kind of what you're waiting to see. And then even that, like that's the first initial breakout. That might not even be direction still. You can still break out above and then get a fake out in this range, right? So even if you do break out, you still gotta wait for like another pullback above 14, and then we'll be good to go up towards like 26, right? So we're not too far away from getting like ideas. Just need this to push through, and then if it doesn't push through, then you need to push down, right? But if it does push down, I think sales for us will be more so within these ranges here, below like 42.85. If it does come down, you probably want to see price like create some type of structure on the way down. So like if it does come down, let's say it does something like this, right? It starts breaking back into the range there. You get like some bullish closures like this, right? The idea is you want to see it hold. As long as it holds that 4291 zone, and then anything on the re-break those lows should be good to come down towards like the range fill. And then those are ideas. So no, it has nothing to do with the 4 hour closure. If anything, the 4 hour closure should give you like a 4 hour close, but it comes down to structure. Whenever you decide to print that closure above or closure below, what structure. What else do you have today? 9:45 flash manufacturing PMI, and then flash services PMI at 9:45 too. And then business inventory is at 10, and that's it. Tomorrow is not tomorrow. Wednesday is nothing, but Thursday you got CPI. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. London, Asian was better. This was like 209 pip pop down, and then Monday, yesterday. What did we get yesterday? It was buys. Did we get buys yesterday? Yeah, it was buys. And then you came up range, made a high. What time was that high? Made a high at 8:30, and then 8:30 just dropped, or kind of dropped, and then I think it was 9:30 that actually dropped. Created lows, lower highs, continue down. I'm guessing there wasn't enough liquidity. So yeah, there's still a chance that this move up could be the liquidity possibility, right? especially if you break below 91, because there's no liquidity on the way down over here. It was just like one straight candle movement down, no pullbacks, nothing. So I'm guessing that's why price failed to continue moving down further yesterday during Asian, and it kind of just stopped there because there was no top wicks or anything. If you maybe had like something like this where you closed above or a top wick looking like that, or let's just put it here. Or if you had something like that, and then you had a bearish closure, maybe, right? But I think you're lacking like lower highs on the way down, right? So then when you came down, you struggled to continue pushing because it wasn't as directional. So then now you kind of corrected this entire thing from Asian, right? So then now it's like, okay, what happens now? Is it going to come back down or is it going to continue? But yeah, this is a correction of Asian. There, man, that kind of wick feels good for Xauusd. Are you talking about Asian? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, how much is this? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's an 80-pip range. All right, so the pullback you made earlier, you can see now it's starting to re-break, right? So it's pretty strong, the re-break. We'll see what happens there. But again, right, may not even be direction. I think the news came out. I think Newsday come out a little mixed, and that was the initial news pop, but that doesn't mean that could be direction for the rest of the session, right? So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. You said unlock the chat section in server. It's unlocked. What up, Beezum? It's going down faster. Good eye. Yeah, it is. But still, it's still a little early to say. Maybe if you get like these lower highs here, you can get like some sense of direction, right? Because this move came down decent. It wasn't too. It was okay. It was fast, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as fast as this, right? Obviously, this is NFP. So let's see if that could continue. If that continues, like this exact momentum towards here, then that'll be good. How can you control FOMO? I think everyone has FOMO. How to control it? I don't know. You kind of just like you have to know what you're taking. Like you have to know what positions you're looking for before you get into them. Like before the day even starts. Obviously, like you come on the charts, every day is different, so you're not gonna have the same ideas each day. But like you come into the charts, you mark up, right? Like we very marked up now. Now we planned out for the ideas that we could have, right? So we planned out what to look out for. I planned out ideas above like 14 or ideas above 26 up here, and then I also pointed out ideas below 29, right? So we know what we're looking for. Anything that's not what we're looking for is none of our business, right? And we're still like a little far away from those ideas right now too. Like even if you do come down towards 91, we're still looking for those small confluences though, right? Those lower highs, like confirmations. Like when it gets there, we'll talk about it more. But everything is like kind of like set. Like we're ready, right? We're ready for the moves that we're looking for. If it doesn't happen though, it's like we can't really do anything about it. Like price and drive 5,000 pips here, I could care less because it's not my move, right? Price and drive 5,000 pips, or yesterday it drove like, how much was that move yesterday? Like 400 pips, something like that, 300 pips. Yesterday price NY drove like 300 and I caught 5 pips. Did I have FOMO? No. All right. Like we had ideas throughout the day too coming down. Yesterday, I think it was around here on the way down, right? So it's a 400 pip pop down, and we had ideas for sells from 26, but we couldn't get in because we couldn't get those exact taps. We're looking for wick entry buys yesterday. So we had ideas, I think it was here. We had some ideas here, but it didn't tap that actual zone before giving us the entry. So therefore I couldn't do anything until it actually tapped a zone that we had, which was 07, right? Which is kind of where we are right now. But when it tapped that, we just got in, no hesitation. And then that was the only move we got yesterday because it came a little late. It came out like 11 yesterday. But yeah, it's just planning out and like knowing what you're taking based on your journal. Speaking about journal or planning out, you also want to have a playbook. So I actually dropped the playbook 2.0 or V2 playbook on admeast.com. So this is the free playbook. You can kind of go on the site and then just like, you know, click on these units here and it takes you to the playbook. So this is like the playbook chart. For those who don't know the first playbook chart, it was more so of just closures. Now it's a little more detailed. Now like the playbook chart shows you like how to get to your ideas. So you start off with your daily analysis, right? And then your higher time frames, you identify what's happening. So for instance, today looks like it's liquidity. I'll say it looks like liquidity. So liquidity, or yeah, liquidity. Because I'm looking at it from this perspective where you start off up here and it did this, right? And then now you have this. So I see as this being liquidity, and then smaller time frame shows smaller time frame, so higher time frame liquidity, which is here, liquidity, and then lower time frame shows drive, right? So when there's liquidity plus drive, what do you look out for? Closures back into the range, fake outs into range fill, which is exactly what we broke down today, right? We broke down, so this is the range right here, and I broke down ideas for breakouts, right? Wait, sorry, what was it? It was liquidity, drive, closure back into the range. Yeah, fake outs into range fill. So it can be, breakout and fake out. So it can be breakouts, which is like above 26, or potentially even above 14, depending on like the structure going up. But breakouts above here, and then if you don't get a breakout, what do you get? You get fake outs below here, 29, right? But you can see like anything above here breaks above here and you'll continue driving up, cool. And then everything below here is kind of like, if you were to get a fake out, it'll be like that, and then you're back into the range, right? So those are the ideas we'll look for today. And then you can also use that with the first playbook if you want. When it comes down to entries, I think this is more so of like setups, right? So breakout, fake out, check, onions, not really. And then what to be careful for. mistaking liquidity as direction. So sometimes you could mistake this move up as direction, which is why I kept saying, like, be careful on the ideas of buys, especially about 14, the first breakouts, because this can easily still come back into the range, right? So it gets to a point where that would look a lot better for direction, but you need to actually form that structure before going up. So yeah, when I say like mistaking liquidity as direction, a lot of times people mistake this bullish move as direction for the day. This can easily come back down still and be bearish. So that's why you want to look out for, you want to take your breakouts above its ranges or your fake outs below here. Anything in this range, or I'll put this range, could be a little tricky for now. All right, throughout the session that changes. But yeah, that's the playbook. You can use that. There's like 4 units. So unit 0 is the chart. Unit 1, you know, you can kind of just go through it. Unit 1 is a little short. Unit 2 is right here. Kind of reviews. So like understand candles, all of that. Right, reading candles backwards. Like I think we started this playbook in like 2024, and I don't think anything has changed since. I think everything is like pretty updated. Liquidity, entries and liquidity, all of that. Price action with liquidity. That's unit 2, unit 3, market cycles. So pretty important. Pretty important part. Drive range liquidity. Right, market cycles, we introduced that in 2024. Drive range liquidity, pretty straightforward. And then unit 4 is over here. So yeah, you can kind of go through that. It's not too long. It's probably like a 15-minute read. By admeast.com. You know, I'll pin it. But yeah, price is we're just waiting for price now, so could be a little boring, but that's trading. Sometimes the charts are kind of just not printing exactly what you want yet, right? But what are you gonna do? Sit there and take positions? That's another thing too. Sometimes when you wait too long, well, not too long. Sometimes when you wait long enough, you start thinking like, you start lowering your I guess your bar for trades a little bit, because now the first breakout or any first fast movement that you see, you might think that it's an idea for you to take a trade off of. So you end up taking that idea and you forgot the original idea that you had because you're getting a little impatient, right? So the first breakout cannot even be the right directional move today too. First breakout can lead to a fake out still, but this is not bad. Like this This thing corrected the news candle, I think, did it? Yeah, it corrected the entire news candle. So news popped up 100. This pullback since news was like 120. So it's not bad. Like that, this is good. You haven't had this push down as a pullback since the start of the bullish candle push. So this low right here, which I think is a 4 low. Yeah, the 4 low becomes a lot stronger. And speaking with the 4 low, you now have a 4 closure. But that low becomes stronger, a bit stronger now, just because now you have these higher lows here. So now the question becomes, okay, can price hold this now? Or can price close above here? And also hold this. Doesn't really have to hold this. It can still break the lows and drop up. But like, can price break above that 14/26 zone? All right, so still a little far away from ideas, but you want to see it glitch up. If it can start glitching up, we can get ideas before 9:30 or trades before 9:30. Told y'all it's going to 4350. Y'all don't be late to the party. Bro, I guess I'm late to the party. The mind games and trading are nuts. It's like psychological warfare, man. It's I don't know. Y'all always gonna be like kind of tempted to look for positions and to look for ideas, especially when you're on like a YouTube stream and people are like calling out ideas left and right. But you have to just, I see it as like practice, right? It's like, I don't know. People can call out ideas, or you can talk to your friends about trading sometimes, and some people actually don't like to talk about trading with their friends because it kind of gives them FOMO, right? It's the same thing as like live streaming or just talking to anybody about your trades. You know, someone might throw you off, or someone might tell you to kind of like look for something that you weren't really interested in, right? So your job is just to kind of like tone it out. It's like price is always moving at the end of the day too. Price is always gonna be moving. So that's noise on its own. And then you got your friends or your people telling you what to look for. That's also noise. So you kind of got to tone that out and then just follow your playbook, right? Because if it's not something that you were looking for, it can't be a miss move. Like I can't miss a move. That's not my art. Like look, this thing's going up right now. What am I gonna do? Oh my god, should I take it? Chat, what do y'all think? No, like I already made the decision in my head not to take it. So when it happens, right, and this doesn't even have to be like with the group or anything. It's just like in your head, like that's probably what you're thinking, like, oh, it's moving, should I take it? Right? But you already made your decision that you're not. You already made your decision that you know what you're looking for. So I want to see price break 14. Now you want to see a pullback, right? And this pullback right here on price could also give you a higher low, because this pullback, if you were to pull back here, it flips on the 15, flips on the 4, right? So that flips, you can get a bottom wick. So what happens now if you've had this massive move here, you pull back, you had this move here, you pull back again, and then you re-break the highs? What do you get? That's 2 higher lows. That's your idea. That will eventually be your idea for buys, right? And then you're in ideas. You're in there. But until then, I have no idea what's gonna happen still. Xauusd, what's up, man? Yeah, late to pullbacks. Are you Australian or not Australian? What's that movie I watched? The Lighthouse. Yeah, late to pullback. Yeah, late pullbacks. Who says yeah? Isn't that y'all ever watched the Lighthouse movie with what's that guy's name? The old dude that's also in Spider-Man, William Dafoe. What movie is that? Or where are they in there? I think they're like Scottish or something. You're French. Yeah, no, I'm not thinking of the right thing. Pullbacks are here to fuck you up and discourage you. I think having that idea is here to fuck you up and discourage you. Because nothing is really trying to fuck you over. At the end of the day, everything is kind of like in your possession and hands. Everything is like your decision. Every micro movement, every line you put in a chart, every decision, it all falls down to you. So the Lighthouse. What lot size would you put for $100? $100? I don't know. I used 0.14 or 0.8 for a 1K account, so I'm guessing like 0.01 on a 100. That's the lowest you can go. I think it's up to you and how big your stops are, but yeah, I think $100 like in my lot size ratio, because now this account is at the 2K mark, 2.4, and we're using 0.14 lot. So we start off the account using like 0.08, and then now we're at like the 0.14 mark at 2K. So you can do the same thing. Like, I guess that $200, you up it to like 0.02, right? And then when it gets to $400 now, you would up it to 0.04. So it's basically like 0.01 per $100. And then you control like how often you up your lots. So you can control like your lots like every double of the account, right? Or you can up your lot size every 100. I think on this account, I'm gonna up it at 4K. So when the account hits 4K, we're up it to 0.30. And then at 5K, we'll do like a small upgrade. And then we'll go on from there. What makes your line white versus orange? Like there, yeah. So I think my white lines are like my major zones. So like major support resistance zones, or just zones that I think price will struggle to break more at. And then my yellow zones are like minor zones. Like for instance, 14 here. I don't think it's too strong of a zone. So there's a chance that we can get ideas within these ranges up towards that white line, right? But once you tap that white line, that's a level where I think price will struggle more at. And it could be wrong. Today it could be actually vice versa, but that's what I have for now. Today is not the greatest example because these zones are not too consistent in terms of areas, right? But I think this zone down here at 42.56 is like off of these areas to the left here, these rejections. So anything below there would be continuation down, but you will also struggle there before coming down. I went back to job to farm some capital. You said farm some capital. You may make some money. Now my account is sitting at 15K after I flipped from 2K. Any thoughts? Thoughts? I mean, just make your consistent withdrawals. I think there's no right or wrong way of trading. There's no right or wrong way of making profit, flipping accounts, as long as you're consistent. So if you can repeat that same action the next month, not the flipping account part, but the same like trading action, apply like some type of monthly withdrawal system to it, right? So I don't know. For me, it's 30% of profits per month. So I'll take 30% of my profits per month to withdraw at the end of the month, and I do that every month. But as long as you choose something that you can keep up with every month. So like, yeah, there's no like right or wrong. Like this, what am I gonna say? Nah, man, why'd you flip your account from 2 to 15K? No, that's a good thing. I think it's just, make your withdrawals and just keep doing it. Can I say it's a little rapid? I don't know, 2 to 15K. Like, I've seen people do way more crazy shit, but I think as long as you're consistent. All right, we're kind of starting to move a little bit. Day streams and really back in the day, I learned so much from this for my structure, how price reacts ranges, so appreciate that. W man. What up, Cookie? You missed the party. All right, that's enough of that. But yeah, we have more news at 9:45, so that's in about 30 minutes. We'll see how that comes up. See what we can do until then. But again, we haven't really moved that. I think something's still coming for the day. I don't technically need a job. I just need to mentally, because I think I'm struggling to trade objectively if I don't have a second income. Start trading. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure when you quit your job and you're not consistent. Yeah, I think you wanna keep your job until you have, I don't know, everyone's financial situation is different, but until you're just more comfortable, like until you can just trade without worrying about the bills every month. So, or until you're consistent. So, by 2K to 15K is some pretty good threshold right there. Spaceman Sam. Would you recommend Gates FX? I don't know. Only broker I know is Blueberry Markets, or that I have experience with. So if I don't have experience with it, I'm done recommending like brokers. Because last time I recommended something, that wasn't too great. 4 years, 46 months. What's 46 months? 46 divided by 12. 3.8 years. Jeez. All right, this is some good volume here. Yeah, so this is pretty good. This kind of broke out of whatever this was doing. Let's see if that could continue. We have a lot of range, right? So I wouldn't like stress about any of these pushes up. Above 26 was our original ideas for buys. So above 26, we have range up towards like 43, 49, and then all-time highs, and you have a bunch of zones and areas. Yo, is Jay Zoom user? Because we haven't heard from Jay in like 2 days. But I've seen Zoom user for 2 days. That's where it is. I don't know. So approaching 2681 zone here. So yeah, start getting well, I wouldn't say get ready yet, but I think what we can look forward to is if you get a pullback, I think wick entry buy ideas could be something now. I think 4314 for now. If it comes down to how like you pull back, if you even pull back, right? Let's say in some universe you pull back from like 26, you can look at like 16 levels for wick entry buys or 14 levels for wick entry buys, right? Because you haven't had much pullbacks yet after 14. From 14 to 26 has been straight bullish, right? So wick entry buys could be a decent play or a good play. or you continue to push above 26, because then you'll have some like clean traffic going up towards 49. So ideas could be, I think it comes down to how hard you push up too. Like I'm guessing if you do push up here, your next area would be like around, your next area would be around like here at 33 zones, 32 zones. So if you continue to get these pushes, so you get something like this, right? Then you get these pullbacks, you have highs. I think what we can start looking for is the second rebreak of the highs for the buy ideas. But it comes down to how fast you pull back and also how efficient you pull back up to retest the highs. If it's slow, then you want to apply the second rebreak, which means that if this is a high right there, next candle decides to break, we'll wait for the first break, a small pullback, we'll have a new high, and then the buy stop above there will be the buys. Right, so there's lots of ideas here that we can have. And then also wick entry buys at like 16 zones if you come down pretty hard here, right above the flip. Yesterday wasn't a leg count too. Yesterday was a doji. I think we thought it was an enclosed leg candle. If it was, then this whole entire wick fill today would be the idea. All right, starting to push here. It's not bad. Like it's, I think it's a little better than like this right here. Like the movement is a little better than this. And then you have 7 minutes to NYC. So we'll see how that comes out. And we'll be here for another like hour and a half until like 11 or something. Yeah, so I think wick entry ideas would be great at like 43.19 if you pull back from here. Senpi, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a long time. When did you start? I think 8:20 today. So about an hour ago. Let me just click record real quick. So you're pulling back right now off of 28. Yeah, so 19 won't be too bad of an area for wick entry buys. We can get something there. If you pull straight back from here, like you don't want to see it. Like, so pay attention here because we can actually get some. But you don't want to see it come down like this, right? You want to just see constant push. If anything, like maybe like I think minor pullbacks might be okay. Like something like this could be okay, right? But you don't want to see it like no, because then that's creating structure, and you can easily break past 19, and you're looking more so to flip. And then if you flip, you're looking at down here for like 06, whatever. But yeah, if you can come straight down here, that'd be nice. Towards 1988, that's gonna be your wick entry buys from there up to retest the highs. Could be your target, or at least to retest these zones still left here. So it can be like a 52 pip TP that we can look for. But we still gotta push down 65 pips there. So yeah, just pay attention to that. That can be coming right up, especially with the 30-minute closure. You can get a pullback on the opening, bottom wick first, right? Tap that zone, wick entries towards the flip. Won't be too bad. I'm yawning. All right, so pay attention here. You want to see it like, it's almost there. You want to just see it continue dropping here. 35 more pips. And then just so we're like aware, if we get in at like 1988, if it taps it, and we get the wick entry buys, then I'll say like 43.22 would be a good like trail stop zone. So at that point, trail stops in profit. I think BE would be like probably, let's see, 19. So this is a pullback already. Let's see how far this pullback is. You don't want to see it break above this 2680 zone. You want to see it kind of hold that. But if you get a 1988, then I think break even would be around here. So around 15 in profit, break even, and then 22 would be trail stops. That's gonna be like 22. So we'll move our stops to BE at this zone, and then once it taps the next zone, we'll trail stops to 21.69, 17 pips in profit, and then TP is like somewhere up here at like 60 pips, so 43.25 or 43.24, along that area there. So a lot of lines here now, but just in case, you know, it happens quick, because it's a wick entry, so it could be like instant. All right, 9:30 in a YC. You have news on that for the 5-2, which I'm aware of. Also, um, the good thing about being at again this pullback too is that now if you were to come up to retest the highs of 30, 31, this is a higher low, right? So it's a pretty decent higher low. I think it was like 64 pips. So if you start breaking back above this 32 zone, you can look for your buys. So it looks like this 19 zone. It's 80 pips from there. I think we can still get it. I think we can get it still as long as you hold that 28 zone. I think that was the zone earlier, right? That 28. This area right here. Sorry, just give me what we're looking at. So wick entries potentially at 1988 right now, or ideas above 32 for buys. So we don't have an exact like trade idea above 32 yet, but we have an exact trade idea for wick entries, which is at 1988. And then above 32, we'll start hunting for ways to get in buys. I have no idea why NP was on a Tuesday this week though. All right. So I think we can delete 18 now because it broke the highs. So, or 19. We can delete that. I don't think we can get the wick idea there. We can maybe get a lower, but I don't think it's going to be at that zone anymore because this is a lower high or a higher high now because you broke it. So I think next thing we have here is going to be 32. So we have 27, 32. Let's see. Yeah, so 32. You want to see a break above there. Yeah, it is news in 10. I'm aware of that. We can still get something before. It's flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. If it's like too close at like 941, then probably not. But I think we still got some time. I don't know, give me like 2 minutes then, or a minute. All right. So yeah, still struggling here. So like again, this move up isn't like too severe. Like it's not like you're pushing up, right? Don't get me wrong. Like you're pushing up, but it's not pumping, or it's not like glitching, or it's not driving. It's just kind of like slowly pushing up, and then you get in these pullbacks. Slowly pushing up, you get in these pullbacks. So you can still get a correction. I wouldn't count out that out yet. Obviously, you have news in 5 now, so I think we're gonna wait for that. But I think something that we can pay attention to is news. So if you do open up and you do get a pullback, I don't think 19 could be a wick entry zone, but I think 14 could be potentially one right before the 4-hour flip. And then after that becomes like, I don't know, 4,300. 4,300 could be something too down here. But I think below 14, you start kind of creating structure. Like I don't think we're looking for sell ideas below 14. I think wick entries at 14 could be potential. But below 14, you start to kind of shift a little bit. The structure starts to change a little bit. So if you, depending on if you, like how much structure there is coming down, like if it's just like one move down like this, obviously we can't. But if you get like this, and then you get like this, or not even, you get like this, and you get structure holding that 14 zone, then yeah, we can look for sells within like these ranges, right? To come down towards like 4,300. We can take advantage of that range. Obviously, that's if price comes down here. But yeah, it can be anything today still. Like this move up again, it's pushing up, but just because price pushes up doesn't always mean it's directional. Sometimes if you're lacking like pullbacks, you're lacking liquidity, those things could be printed within like a 1-2 kind of pop. So if this entire move took you like, for instance, last Friday and Monday, that whole thing got corrected, right? But this could be a 500 pip pop. You can get a correction of that, or at least half of that within like a 1-2 candle pop, like a 1-2 5-minute candle, right? This took how many candles going up? This took maybe 14 candles, 15 candles. So it's not bad. It's pretty volatile on the way up. But for you to get a correction, it could be a lot quicker than it came up. So I wouldn't count that out yet. There's a small possibility that you can still get a correction, but above 32 becomes your buy area now, right? And then I think we did a pretty good job of identifying that today, because we mentioned how, or 27 at least, we mentioned how 14 wasn't going to be too strong of an area that can easily break, which it did. But above 32 or above 27 was the zone that needs to break in order for this to be continuously bullish. Otherwise, any given point, this thing can come right back into the range, right back down. So you don't want to be caught up in that. So yeah, just have a bit of patience here. News in 3 minutes, and we can literally get ideas, right? But you'll see like a huge difference in volume and price based off of how we move. Bro, it's mad cold. Holy. It's freezing. It's freezing in Miami. $24. Also, yeah, no wick entries at 19, right? Because if you look at the structure, or not anymore, if you look at the structure, you had this earlier. The idea was 19, or my bad. Let's just take it from here. The idea was come back, tap 19, perfect. You're looking for that first initial reaction. Even if that reaction takes you up towards 25, that's still a good advantage point. That's like a 6-pip range. You'll get a lower high before coming down, you'll be out, right? 19 to retest the highs, even better, you get a runner. But you came down towards like 20, 22 earlier, 21, whatever it was, and then you came back up to re-break the highs, and then now you're coming down. So look what happens. Look what's happening right now. It's still too early to say this thing is still bullish, right? But now you have like lower highs around here, or highs, and then you have a lower high here, and this thing could easily correct that entire move still. So 19 becomes a little tough because the chances of you getting a wick entry off 19 now is a lot lower compared to earlier. So that's why like it's very important to pay attention to price throughout the day, because the zones you have from the morning might not be valid in the afternoon or throughout the session. So that's why it's also key to continue updating your zones throughout the session. But yeah, for 15 here, closure, 9:45 news. I think it's I think you got flash and manufacturing PMI, and then flash services PMI 9:45 here. So yeah, we'll see how this prints here. Gosh, you're freezing. What up, Burnt? Sometimes I feel like I try and predict too much, but it's part of my planning. But sometimes I get stuck in my prediction. I'm able to switch. What should I do? You have to be able to switch. Like you have to be able to switch based off of price. Like you keep the main thesis, I guess. So when I get into a position, I'm keeping that main higher time frame idea, right? Because I'm basing it off a higher time frame. So the main idea, let's say it's like, I think, for instance, we're coming down now. I think this is liquidity go up. I get into position, and then it ends up coming down further. So now I'm in more drawdown than I was, or compared to what I initially wanted to get into at. So I'm not gonna go and be like, okay, it's like I'm in drawdown now. Let me go and be bearish, right? Like the main idea will still be me being bullish. I'm still bullish. I'm looking for I'm in the wick entry buy and drawdown. And you kind of gotta drop to the small time frame and look out for small little clues and hints of what could be happening. So now you start paying attention to like the way the candles are moving. Like you start paying attention to like, is price going up? If it is going up, how strong are the candles going up versus how strong are the candles going down? All right, things like that, because that gives you an idea as to where price can go next. So maybe I should draw it out because it doesn't make sense here. Let's say like, you know, I'm looking for a wick entry buy like around here, right? Let's say like there's something here, and price, first thing it does is just come all the way down towards that zone. I get in buys here, right? So my buy is there, and let's say instead of price like rejecting as like I'm expecting it to, it ends up coming back into the range like this, right? So now what I'll do is I'll start paying attention to like the way the candles are moving. So on the small time frame, I'll look to see, okay, well, you're into the range now. I'm still expecting that initial reaction. So it comes down to whether those initial reactions can take you back up above the range, right? If it does, then we'll be in profit, cool. But even if it doesn't, and it starts to stay respecting here, that's fine still. There's a chance that price could come down deeper, right? Instead of rejecting here to go up, it ends up making all these lower highs here to start shifting down. Okay, cool. At what point does the higher time frame flip? Let's say it's like here, right? So then what I'll do is by the time that price gets down towards these zones, higher time frame shifts and it becomes bearish. Can I still get in the buys then? No, right? So then at that point, you probably want to manage risk, get out, right? But I mentioned the trade because it's the same way when you plan for trades for the day too. Like if I'm planning for a buy idea here, right? And instead of like price rejecting off that zone, it ends up just ripping through. At what point does this become kind of bearish, right? I'll say here. So I'll mark up this level down here as a mental zone. Like, okay, cool. If you were to break below there, you're bearish for a day, I can start looking for sells. But anything above here, I can still look for buys. And there's a lot of ideas you can get into for buys. Like you can still get a fake out back into this range, right? This entire thing could have been a fake out. So then if I notice on a higher time frame that, okay, price is shifting down here, the next idea I have now instead of a wick entry buy would be a fake out. Because if you now come back above here and you hold, right, that's a fake out, you'll start continuing up. So then I'll start planning for ideas here. But I'll keep that entire buy idea throughout the entire day until you actually start to break below whatever zone. This is just an example of an area, but let's say it's like the daily flip or something. Until then, you're bullish. Until then, any given point, you can still rip up, right? So that's why I like paying attention to the small time from micro movements really matter, especially like here. Like let's say you came down from up here. How did it come down from here? Was it like a strong push down? Was it like a one pop, or was it like a boom structure, right? If it's structure, then chances of you driving through here is a lot higher. You can start planning for sells below here. But if you notice that it was just like a constant pop and now you're getting this, the chance of you getting a fake out is very high. So you want to keep that buy idea on a high time frame and look for your buys if you were to get fake outs. Make sense? I was hoping if I do that, I'll come back and price is moving, but it's still here. But yeah, like you want to keep the higher time frame picture, but it's okay to swap, but only swap after price breaks X point, right? Whatever, like for me today, I'm bullish today until you start breaking below 14. Not only 14, but creating structure below 14. So if price decides to like shift down like this below 14, create like lower highs for structure, then we can actually start planning for sell ideas in this range, right? You can also, sometimes I might be like, I don't have a bias too. Like sometimes I don't have a bias because it's bullish or it can be bearish. But that's not because I'm indecisive. That's just because price, I've noticed that the moves up today on price isn't really strong, and the higher time frame over here is still overall bearish, right? This could be a lower high at any given point. I mean, chances are slimmer now because you broke above here and you're holding it pretty well, but this could still be, or this could still be a lower high to this, and this can come all the way back down. And where does it become? Below 14, right? So if you had this, right? You see how you had that one constant push up? Okay, cool. How do you know if that's going to be a faker or not, right? If you start breaking below here, then yeah, it likely will be. At that point, you can swap biases. Like you don't have to marry your bias. Like just because like there's plenty of days where I'm looking for we might have a bias and we go up opposing against the bias. So, for instance, like I think yesterday, our bias was bullish. Never mind. Yesterday we took bias, with bullish bias. But there are some days where we're like, for instance, the 11th, where we're like bearish and we end up getting bias, right? Or 9th, we were bullish and getting sells. But it's not always where we get those ideas with the bias. Like, I don't think bias matters. Small time frame matters though, like these micro movements, all those things. Cam froze. So I'm trying to fix it. 1 second. It's gotta load up this app. I think it froze. Camera hub. Oh god, oh. So this thing is ranging right now. Maybe it'll pick up. It's been picking up a little later in the day too, so still got a lot of time. Hello? All right. So yeah, let's see if we start moving today. See what happens today. We probably got another 40-minute term. But no more folders, so it's just like pure price now, pure price action. Why did you remove your headrest? You notice that? I don't know, I just never used it. It was just annoying, like every time. I think the chair is meant to force you into a certain posture. So I feel like the headrest isn't really like how Herman Miller designed it. So I wanted to sit on it like how he designed it. It's like buying a car and putting a bunch of like carbon fiber parts on it. I feel like it's just like, it's not how they envisioned it, you know? So yeah, I took it off. How did you even notice that? 4 hour close in a minute. Yeah, let's see. Oh, hold on. No, that's the futures close or different market close. That's probably a different broker close. But yeah, 1 hour closure, same shit. Okay, so this 5 is not bad. Pick up a little bit in volume here. Still too early to say, way too early, but slowly making lower highs here. So let's see if this shifts down towards 14 or not. So when it starts moving too, you feel like I guess like the only thing that I use my gut for in trading, or one of the things, is like volume, right? Because you can really tell when you're about to get ideas versus when you're not. So based off of like how price is moving in a certain direction, how fast and how efficient it is, it gives you like some energy. I don't know. It just makes me more energetic. But when it's like there's nothing in the charts, it's like you just sit there and just wait and it's just dead. There's nothing you can do about it. So let's see if this thing picks up. Um, 4332 is being rejected. Are we looking for a drop in a while? No, we're not looking for anything. We're not looking for a drop or a continuation. I think we're waiting for price to decide that for us. So I'm waiting to see if you are strong enough to push past 32, because there's still a possibility, since you're bullish, that you can still drive up. But at the same given time, higher time frame shows that this can still be a lower high. So I'm waiting to see if you're strong enough to break below 14 to give us that direction. But we're not sitting here like predicting, you know? Like you don't want to do this. Oh yeah, I think price is gonna do this, and then I think it's gonna do this. All right. You also don't want to just say, yeah, it's gonna come down. It's gonna do this. Like you want to wait for price to actually give you those ideas. You can draw out scenarios, right? Draw out scenarios where you're looking for ideas at. So price breaking above 32, pull back, hold, continuation, drive, great, amazing, buys above. You can draw out that scenario. If it happens, you're in there. That's what you want to do. Or you can draw a scenario for down. Like if you were to break below 14, create structure below there, it'll give you a reason to continue down towards 4,300. That's your entry, right? But you don't want to predict like where price is gonna go and base your analysis off those predictions. That makes sense? Previous 30, like Canada. Yeah, Canada actually. We could see that as one. So yeah, this is the 30 leg candle right here on the 30-minute time frame. It's also still a 4-hour wick fill here. 27. How strong is that? Yeah, 32 still your ideas for buys here. I think I'll probably let the 30-minute leg candle play out. Above 32, I will look for. I think you have another leg candle here too, anyways, right here. And that's what we're more so looking for. But now, like, you see how we're stuck in this cycle, like this range. You want to see something happen. So either if you get a breakout, right, could lead to a fake out. Or you get a breakout and then you continue to break out, right? But you need kind of something to break this range. So it doesn't matter where it goes, either down first or out first, but you need to either tap those two zones there, one of the two zones first. And then once you tap one of the two zones, you should start to pick up in volume and get direction. Gold's gonna fly when we get off. True. Could happen. High chance, actually. Five-minute leg candle, maybe. I'm gonna remove this 22 zone. I don't think it's too important. We can maybe leave 14 or 9. We can probably leave 9. If that 4 kind of flips, you'll probably make a bottom wick. But I don't think that 22 zone is too important. Or could remove the resistance actually and leave this here. The break of 21. Yeah, I'll leave it here like this. So I think 21 could be important. Like if you were to break that low, you can rip down further towards 09. And then for the resistance, it's just clean traffic all the way up. That's what it shows. And we're looking for structure anyways here, right? Elvis Price Lee. Elvis, what's up, man? The GOAT. Elvis, the GOAT. Chat's asking you. No, chat's not asking this. I'm just asking you. When's Evolution DBS coming back? Your playbook is out. One close respecting though, ain't it? 1 hour candle. Yeah, but I think it's still closed above here. At the end of the day, it's still holding this area, and I think that's important. As long as it holds that 16 zone, it has room to go up here, which is what it's doing right now. So chat, I think we're gonna start putting ideas into play, because now we're starting to break above 32. So yeah, we broke out above 32 here. That's good. Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna remove this because I want to move this down to 09. Then I'm gonna move. So you have range to 39. Or let's just remove that. Let's go on the 5. What do we have? 21. I'll leave 21. So I think what I'll wait for here now is you got the breakout, which is the first initial break. Could still be a fake out if you come back down, right? But I think what we can do now is wait to see if you could kind of like hold onto these zones. You want to see it hold that zone right there. And if you hold that zone, I can maybe make it outline here. Let's see. Yeah, you want to see it hold this zone here. 30. You want to see it hold 30. So if you can come back down to 30, flip, you have a high. You have this high now, right? So you're in the range. You're doing this. You have a high. If you come back down to flip, you'll look like that. So the idea is that you want to just confirm that it's not going to be a fake out, because it still could. This move up, this is the first breakout of that range. But if you do get a re-break at highs, look what happens. Now you have higher low and higher low, and then anything above this should be good, right? So then you can start applying like those final confirmations. We can wait for a second re-break with our first initial re-break, but I do want to see if it can come back down towards like 30 here, 30.55. But yeah, you have a lot of range, so I wouldn't be stressed, chat. All the way up to 47, and then 5.7. I think 5.7 is like a zone we found to the left somewhere earlier. Like somewhere up here. And then eventually you got 70, 80 as all-time highs. Maybe we make an all-time high today, who knows? But we gotta survive this 30 zone here. So that's pretty important. Hong Kong. How long do you usually stand by and why? Till 11. So we're on every day in DVS01 from 8 a.m., 8:20, 8:30 until 11. 10:45 sometimes 9:45, depending on like if you get a trade early, right? Sometimes you get a trade early, we call it, or sometimes there's volume and we can get 2 trades, so we might stay, even though we haven't got 2 trades in over like, I don't know, a long time now. We haven't taken a lot since almost 6 months now. I think 6 months in about 4 days since the last loss we took. I think we're on like a 70 something win streak or whatever, something like that. I think it was like 72, 73, something like that. But yeah, that's how we've been. This is literally how it is every day. Like it's, just coming at 8:30 and just sitting around waiting for ideas to come. And we're pushing right now pretty hard. So you see this pullback here? You see how you push down towards 30? Look, you have a high now. You have a low, right? So again, this could still correct. But now you have a high here. So if price were to come back up again, we'll probably wait for price to break, pull back, and then re-break, and that's our buy stop. So we're close. We're closer than we were, I think, ever today. But you gotta come back up and hold. That pullback is gonna be very important too once you re-break the highs, because any move down, right? Any move down is a higher low, but can also take you down too. And also, this was what? How many candles? 47 candles there. 47 minutes of range. It can clear it within a 1-2 candle pop. And this is an example of a 1-2 candle pop. Right? 2 candles to clear out a 47 candle range, which gives you what? An idea that sells could be more volatile, right? I wouldn't say direction yet, because this can still come down, give you a double fake out, right? We're not looking for sells until what? Until, remember when Burnt asked that question earlier about when do you switch your bias or have trouble switching biases? This is an example of like, we have it planned below 4309 now. If you were to break below 4309, that's kind of when we're looking for more sells, maybe below 14/13. Until then though, you can still get a double fake out to continue up and all that, right? So you always want to keep that higher time frame picture in the back of your mind all the time. Peace out, spaceman. Scorpio, what's up? What's the highest time you consider? Like to trade with? Because I look all the way up into the monthly for ideas sometimes. But to like for me to enter, I think I mostly look at the daily. If we're trading that day, we're looking at the daily that day to see if we flip or whatnot. Like below 09, sells below there, that's the day flip, right? So I'll look at it from that sense. But yeah, all time frames to get a general idea, and then dailies for positions. So yeah, you tap 21 here, you're starting to slow down a little bit. Or you're starting to reject and react here. Let's see if this thing continues to break the highs. This is like kind of similar to yesterday. I wonder if we can get a idea at 14 again. What entry buys? Because this came up to break the highs. So if this comes down from all the way up here, 34. Earlier it was coming down from like 29 when we had 14 levels, but then it broke. So now it's coming down from all the way at 34. I wonder if we can get wick entry buys at 14. I think 13,983 here. We can get something actually. 13,983. Yeah, around there. That came close. What did that tap? 1524. That's a pullback. All right, so since that pullback, we might gotta move it down. And then that's the flip though on the 4. Maybe not. I think that was quick. I think if this came down and tapped 14 right away, that would have been our entry. Or something we could have planned for. But you see how it kind of came down, tap 15, and then pull back automatically. That's a lower high now, right? So then you have something like that. Now you come down like that. Chance of you continue down below 15 is a bit higher. But look at that move, right? Look at the volume. You see like the energy shift. Like I sound like fucking delusional, but you see like the shift in volume. It's just like night and day difference between like what's actually valid versus what's not valid to take throughout the day, right? It's like now you actually have direction. So these are the moves that you want to wait for. Just because you're pushing up for the day doesn't mean that's directional, right? Because you can correct it just as fast or 10x faster than the way you came up. All right, this could be a higher low now, but even if this is a higher low, the volume came in. If you were to come up now, perfect. Why did you come all the way down then? I don't know, but if you come up again, that's a higher low. And this would be great buys above 34, whatever it is, right? But night and day difference in volume and what you could be trading versus what you were trading earlier for the day. And sometimes that comes earlier Sometimes it comes at 8, right? But sometimes it comes at 10, 11, like it has been the last 2 weeks. So these are things that you really want to pay attention to. But yeah, pushing down below 09 here. So yeah, perfect. Let's see, can you push below 09 and then, or 13 even? I think what I want to see now, if we get positions below 13, would just be like pullbacks and then continuation down like that. That'd be great. The breakout lows would be nice. But if you don't, then you just continue down towards 09. That's the day flip. Below 09, same thing. You want to see price pull back, hold, and then we can take the re-breakout lows down towards like 4,300. Because look at the glitch and the volume that you have now compared to everything going up earlier. Like you can tell earlier when it was going up, look how slow and sluggish it was, right? We weren't as invested. But then look at the move down now. So this brings in volume. That's what that is. And it can still be buys, right? Which is why these lower highs are very key to wait for. Like you want to see it go up, you want to see a pullback, and then re-break the lows down to give you confirmations that it's not just gonna rip back up. So yeah, we'll be here for another like 25 minutes, maybe until 11. I mean, it looks like we're gonna get a trade in the next 15 as of right now. Hopefully it doesn't slow down. How much was this move? 210. Holy. Yeah, let's see if that can continue. Where'd you come off of there? 12? Yeah, if that first pop down was like came right down towards that 14, would have been in there. But there was a pullback, and the idea is you want to look for the first initial reaction on price. So pay attention to this now, right? I think the 4-hour flip there, you made a low. This is this right here could be another fake out. So it could be a double fake out, or it could be a lower high to come down. If it's a lower high to come down and you come down to re-break the lows, we can start having potential sell stops below the ranges. And then above, I think above 4,330 will be the buys instead of the highs. If you were to break above there. So you're almost there in terms of ideas, right? Like if you wait all morning for an idea, there's no point of getting in and just rushing the idea now. It's like you would have spent the whole morning waiting for no reason. So it's like, what's the point? What's the point of waiting when you're just gonna FOMO in anyways? It's like if you're not gonna FOMO, then just don't FOMO for the rest of the session. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. It's like you fake discipline. You don't want to be fake discipline. Who told you we're not gonna FOMO? Yeah, hopefully we can get some today though. It'll be nice. On stream, because I'm only on stream like once in a while now, so, and we get like maybe 3 trades on average per week, so chances are a bit slimmer, but it looks like we're gonna get one though. That looks of it. So since this took a long time to come up and a long time to come down, it wasn't like an instant pop up, instant rejection back down within like the same candle. The second rebreak of the lows. So I'm guessing if it does come down, we'll wait for a price to break this low. It'll probably come down towards 09, and then second pullback, and that pullback you want to see instantly, right? Instant pullback, same candle usually, and a continuation, and that'll be the idea. It could be higher. It could be at 09 instead of like where I registered a low at 06, but we're close. It's just now it's like, what is price going to do here, right? But now you have a lower high here for now. You have a lower high there. You had a fake out here. Could still come up. I'm not counting that out. The same way when it was going up earlier, I was saying that it could still come down. We just haven't had direction yet. So that's why it's like still could be anyone's game today, right? But these are things that give you hints of where it's gonna go. So how much this pullback was 100 pips, so it's pretty, yeah, that's a decent pullback. 15 or 5 close, weak bullish, holding that zone. 1 hour candle. Someone asked earlier about like, didn't it close holding this area? I'm like, yeah, it did, but it also closed above here, right? So this is like a range on its own, but below 09, guess what happens? That's back into the range. And a 4 flip too. Oh, Burnt, also, I don't know if you're still here, but to add on to your question earlier, I think when you asked about the bias, sometimes like maybe try going into the session without a bias. That can help too. You don't always have to have a bias. Like you're forcing yourself to pick a direction, right? Like sometimes there's no bias. What's more powerful for the day? Is it the bulls going up or is the bearish moves going down? And if it looks like this, where there's nothing, then there's no bias. At least yet. Are you still taking pineapples? Yeah, we are. But they come a lot more rare now. I think this year we've had maybe like, this year we've had 16 pineapples, which is not a lot. I think some of that came in January when we took 4 stacks though on stream. I think you guys remember that. Because each position was 4. But I think for the year we took maybe like what? Since Divas 01, maybe like 2-3 pineapples. I also think that that win rate right there, 91.16, is a lot higher than 91.16 because it shows 16 losses, but I think a lot of those losses were like negative. Like for instance, like here, like negative like 0 pips, right? Or negative 0.2 pips, negative 1, 0. So I think like this win rate is probably like a 94 or something for the year. But yeah, pretty good year. Our best year yet. Okay, price came up again, broke the highs. So let's see if this could shift down here. 10:30, got a 30-minute closure. That closed weak bearish, holding support, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so it's still holding this zone here. Still holding. So yeah, let's see. Don't know what's gonna happen still. You have a wick fill going the other way. You have a wick fill going down too, because it's like a engulfing candle. Higher lows being printed too here and here. So yeah, I think above 30, we can start planning for buys. That's the 30-minute flip, 1 hour flip, 4 hour rebreak of the highs. Above 30, and then you have all this range up here. All right. It could be lower than 30 if you pull back again. If you get something like this, and then you come up, because then that's a higher low, right? So then wherever the high is here, you can look for them ahead of 30. But I think for now, 30 in the 4 hour rebreak of highs. That's kind of what you want to look out for. We can also treat it as a 30-minute leg candle going up. If it is, then the body reaction already passed, though. It was here, so you haven't gotten that yet. But you can apply that to the confirmations too. But you do need that pullback. $30.29, that's around there. 30-minute flip. Yeah, so 35.5 key zone. So it looks like there's no pullbacks here on the 30. It's just like one straight move up, which is fine. And you want to see it start popping. Volume better now. Yeah, volume's way better now. Directionally, it looks a lot better now too. Because like for the buys, at least now you have a lot. Like out of this entire move, that was like you had a pullback here earlier, right? But now you have like an actual steep pullback. So that's good. Could still be a lower high. I wouldn't count that out. If it's another figure, I was gonna be like, see, the markets are trying to get me. They're coming after my stops. They're trying to target me. Cause they have like 1, 2, 3, like 4 fake outs for a session. Would you ever optimize your trading to be more balanced approach where you prioritize win rate as well as RR? I don't think I prioritize win rate. I also don't prioritize negative risk to reward. I prioritize probability. Like I'm not waking up every day and like saying like, oh, I need to win this trade. That just happens to be the win rate after making my decisions every day. Same goes for like negative risk to reward. I'm not aiming for a positive or a negative risk to reward. I'm just taking the most probable trade with the most logical stop loss I can have. And that ends up being my risk to reward. I'm not thinking about prioritizing win rate or like risk to reward or any of that. I think that just comes naturally with the way that we look at the charts. You know what I mean? I think if anything, the risk to reward is taking the probable trade. Like, so I do trade positive risk to reward in terms of win rate probability, right? In terms of I'd rather take my higher win rate trades than any lower win rate trades. I think that's like risk to reward on its own, but I'm not looking at each trade in terms of this TP profit needs to be bigger than the stop loss. Like that's not in my mind. And I think a lot of traders look at it that way. But you gotta dig deeper. Perfect. MobiMT. RR decided by the market, not you. You just choose if you take it or not. Yeah, the market is gonna decide you, like it's gonna print whatever it prints for the day. And your job is to make these decisions, right? At what point is price going to be valid for you to take your positions at? We're still waiting here, right? But look at price today. What has it given us that we could have taken? I mean, you can say anything. You can say that move just down just now, this move up, this move down, right? Like these are decent ranges, but it's not what we said we wanted to get for the day, right? So we're not over here chasing the markets and waiting for price to print and then making a decision. Or we already made a decision as to what we're gonna take for the day, and it's up to the markets to print that or not. If we're looking for a sell below 4309, but it has to look a certain way, that's not up to the markets to decide. It's gonna move how it wants to move. But if that lines up with your analysis, perfect. That's your position to take. So yeah, everything is like already decided and kind of said for and done for. And you're just making the best possible decision you could make that day. From price. But I think overall today was like a good day. We still got some time here. I got another 20 minutes. We still get something. We got a trade yesterday at 11:05. But I think today was pretty good though. I think I'll give it 5.5 out of 10. I don't think it was terrible. Terrible will be like 5, or 4.5. 5.5 out of 10 is decent. We came close like twice today. That wick entry was really close, and also that the buys above 35 were close too. If you just came up to re-break the highs again, but it was okay conditions. I think if I'm like here every day on YouTube, or if you're like watching me every day, things will just make a lot more sense. But it's tough when I come like once a month on YouTube, because then you're like, there's a lot of catch up on, or there's just a lot of stuff that you're not used to. But if you're like watching me every day, like Penzo watches me every day, or like Bezo watches me every day, like they it's like kind of, yeah, they understand what I'm looking for, or everyone in the Divas 01. Like you can kind of tell what moves would be valid, what moves could just be us watching, is sitting out of. Charlie Brandt, W Trey, bro. Bro's gotta ignore us now. I'm not ignoring it, but I'm reading the chat. I answered the question. What university you attend? I didn't go to university. I went to baypips.com. Michael Berry went to school. Michael Berry went to medical school though. He was a doctor. He had nothing to do with trading. But I think trading is one of those things too where you don't even need education. Like you need to know about the economy and how it runs, and man, fuck that shit. You don't even need to know how it runs. You can just look at candle price action, to be honest with you. You can just look at price. Like I think it's just about pattern recognition. If you could read patterns and recognize patterns on a daily basis, and that comes with experience. I think anyone with experience, you come here every day, you will get used to that pair will print. Like especially if you focus on one pair in one session, you understand, at what time during the session things move more at. So you might notice that, okay, 8 a.m. moves quite a bit, 8:30, 8:20 comics open, 8:30, then you have 9, right? But these are the time slots that you keep in the back of your mind every day when you trade. And then you're looking at just the way price moves throughout the day. But every day is going to be different. But overall, it's the same conditions that print over and over. Like compared to when I first started trading to how I'm trading now, price has been moving the same. Right? Nothing has really changed. It might have gotten more volatile, but the way it moves, the way it prints highs and lows, it's all the same shit. It's the same patterns. It's the same range, drive, liquidity. So I think if you understand how to read patterns and you have good pattern recognition and trends and overall, like I think I've always had a good pattern recognition and like trends, like not just trading trends, but like overall, I don't know, fashion trends or like just music trends and like different trends, then you have like a good same recognition on the charts too. Understand what's trending, like what price is doing. But that doesn't require school. I think that just requires like a bit of ambition and like a little bit of experience, or a lot of experience. But that's endless. Like experience is endless. There's no like be all end all to that, Like I don't think I've ever like been at a point where I'm like, this is all I need to know. Like I think I'm always like open to learning new stuff from my own experience. You also gotta recognize your own patterns too, right? Recognize like at what point do you get more FOMO? At what point, like what spikes the FOMO? What spikes those emotions? Because then you can kind of break down yourself too. You can understand yourself and you can know like, okay, I've noticed that on these type of days, I tend to FOMO more. Why? There's always a reason though. Why? You don't just naturally FOMO. Why? Is it because price is moving too rapidly? Is it because price is trending and there's no pullbacks? If there is, okay, cool. Add something there. Add like a confluence that you need to wait for. So when most days when you're just driving and there's no pullbacks, I usually get nothing because I don't have enough confluence. And also in the past, I've FOMO on more so of those days. But for me to add those confluences, right, I had to FOMO. So now I applied those extra confluences for those days to avoid those type of mistakes. But yeah, I think it's just like also psychology too. But I think it's like a lot of pattern recognition and in everything that you do, like in every single thing. It's the same way, like, I don't know, Fibonacci is a retracement too, or Fibonacci is a pattern too. Like there's Fibonacci in everything, just like how like you recognize the same pattern in everything you do regarding charts, or you know, I don't know. I don't think everyone wakes up the same every day. I think some days you might wake up a little more like, you know, a little more on that side. You know, some days might wake up a little more on this side, but you can understand like what triggers those type of patterns. So yeah, it's everything. But I don't think everybody needs school for it. Do you think this is a good sell entry? If it was a good sell entry, I'll be in. If it's a good buy entry, I'll be in. None of this is good for me right now, at least yet. So we'll give it like another 13 minutes, see how 11 a.m. closes. If we get something before 11, but we're lacking in volume. There's no volume right now. There's nothing right now. There hasn't been volume since this major push, and then all of a sudden it stopped. I would have assumed that this volume would have given you continuation up or continuation down, but it's gone up a little bit, but it hasn't gone. It's been like very slow on the way up. So yeah, we'll give it like another 11 minutes, 12 minutes until the thing closes, and then we'll see. I got to rely 923 till now. You know, it's funny. I've actually wanted to hold when gold was at like 1400. I was gonna do the same. Well, I actually did the same. I was like, I'm gonna put a 0.10 line hold, and then I ended up closing at 10 pips. Like long ass thesis and everything. Like I'm gonna open a new account. I did all of that, and then this is like early on, but I ended up closing at 10 pips. I was like, nah, this is gonna run to like 3,000, 2,000. Yeah, I got 10 pips out of it. Do you usually take buys or sells? What kind of question is that, man? I take both. Take both. It comes down to price. I think here, if you look at like these are our trades here. I think on MT5 though, if I were to what do you call it? What's it called? When you show your report, it will show majority sells by like 10%. Oh, you see the glitch? It's starting to glitch a little bit. Look, you see the spreads are still a little wide here, but it's starting to glitch a little bit. So maybe you'll pick up here. Maybe, possibly, if time didn't exist. I mean, for gold, people usually don't sell; they only buy. Yeah, for scalping, I don't think it matters. Like, I think if you're like you're looking at gold, gold's always gonna go up, right? It's bullish, but well, not always, but more likely just to go up than go down. But when you're scalping, I don't think it. Some days you can have bearish trending days, right? Some days you can have bullish. I think the exact percentage I have. Let's see. Create trade report. So this entire account shows we go long 68.31% short trades and 31.69% long trades. So there's more times we go short than long on in like the last 6 months or so, 8 months. So yeah, a lot of sells. I think it's because at one point we just kept taking sells. Like I think it was like around here. It was just constant sells, like constant sells. That was in like June, like May, June, July, and then eventually September, October started taking a lot more buys. And then lately it's been a bit of both, like sells here, buys there. All of that. No, I don't trade SP 500. Trading gotta be like, you know, like that one weekend song, Unfazed. It's kind of what it is. Like every single like crazy move, you're like I'm unfazed. I'm unfazed. Yeah, I keep fighting it, man. Is that the weekend song? Yeah, that is the weekend. That's Uzi actually. Uzi in the weekend. Do you have a community or teaching? We don't really. At the moment, we don't have a community right now. I'm actually looking to run a Discord chat, but I don't want to run a Discord. I need somebody else to kind of step up and run a Discord. For the DBS community. I figured that's like the best way to do it, no? If someone else runs it. Because I don't know what everyone wants in it. But I don't have a community right now. I have a teaching material though. We have a Discord. We have like 23. What do we have in there? 23,000 people in the Discord since like 2019. But it's been I froze it. It's been on pending for until we open it up. I haven't opened it up yet, and I figured that I might just make a new one and let someone else make a new one and just run it for me. But then I have teaching material, admeast.com. Go to playbooks. You can see our first playbook from 2021 and then our second playbook that we just got that came out a couple days ago. There's updated stuff there. Like this is everything that I do. There's no like There's nothing here that I don't use. You know how you go on baypips.com, there's like a bunch of definitions and it's hard to kind of follow along. Well, like this is just my strategy from start to finish. Everything I do is based off of like this chart. Or you can just watch back their YouTube streams. There's like, goes all the way back to 2020. That's also free. Or join DVS01. Everybody join DVS01. No losses since June 20th. And the loss before that was in April. So weird how it's a Tuesday. Is there any more news this week? This Thursday? When's the next NFP? So when do I see you guys next? January 9th? Oh, that's the first week back. True. Yeah, I'll see you guys then. If you don't get anything today. How to be patient like you? You gotta just make mistakes. You have to fail and fail and fail and fail and pick yourself back up and fail and fail and fail and keep going. You gotta just keep going. But you gotta fail. How to discipline yourself? Same thing. You gotta fail, you gotta fail, you gotta fail until you get it. Same thing. Well, it's not really failing if you don't give up, but you gotta make mistakes. I wouldn't use the word fail. There's no such thing as failing, but you gotta make mistakes though. A lot of mistakes, sometimes very big mistakes, and you gotta just keep finding a way to keep pushing and keep believing in yourself, because everyone's the same. Everyone can do it. I'm going fail right now. Yeah, you also gotta self-reflect a little bit too, though. You know, it's more than sometimes just trading. It's like things going on in your personal life that you also gotta figure out. Like being non-emotional in charts means being non-emotional in real life too. You know, you can't be fake discipline. Like there's so many people that are just fake discipline. The only discipline in like some aspects. You gotta be full discipline, like full on out, full port discipline. Like ain't no joke. Like, you know. So yeah, it's more than just trading half the time though. All right, we're gonna get something to say, or what's gonna happen? 1 hour closure, 30-minute leg candle. Let's see how you open up here. I'll give it a minute. I usually set something called a session stop loss. So once we have an idea, I'll be okay. If price breaks is low, I'll call it a day or something. So I think what we'll do is whenever price flips here, we'll set the session stop loss to this low. So you see this low I've just made? If price breaks that low again, I'm calling it a day. Because if you go up, it can be a 30-minute leg candle fill and all that. But if you re-break the lows, there could be continuation down. And even if you get continuation down, you need to see price create structure. So that's gonna take a lot longer to form. But yeah, I'll put my session stop loss at 43.1783. If that breaks the lows, we'll call it a day. We're not married, but I'm still with her. More discipline for life because of training like that. Yeah, it's just a routine. Finding a routine. Finding like a system. Yeah, single subs. Yeah, that's DVS01. DVS01 comes with here. Everyone go to 8ameast.com, right? 8 a.m. East, like New York session, 8 a.m. East, you know? Signals. And then, yeah, right here. This is DVS01. And did you break the lows? Almost. I think the low was right here, right? So yeah, if you break that low, we'll call it. And it sucks because you can actually start to move now too. I think there's still a couple things you gotta wait for, obviously. But if your trading window is still open, I'm sure you can still get ideas here because this can just all the way down towards 4309. But that's it. We tried today. I tried to stay for a bit longer. Until 11. But I don't know how long this is gonna take to play out. But sells below 4309, maybe even below 17 if you create structure below 13 and whatnot, or below 13, and then obviously below 4300, right? But yeah, just wait for those little things that we mentioned today. I think that's it though. So we couldn't get anything today. I think the last two streams though we were able to get something, but you know I only get like on average 3 trades a week, so chances of us getting on stream is a little slimmer. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the 9th of January. I think that's the next NFP. All right, so this is the last stream of the year. So thanks for coming today. Any last questions? Anything for the year before we go off into the new year? This is the last question you can ask me at age 25. Because I'm about to be 26. Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. And Happy New Year's. Happy New Year. Have a good year. Hope you guys had an amazing year for 2025. I think it was a good year. I think it was a good pivotal year for 2025. Like, good year. Yeah, I just gotta keep going. I'll see you guys in the new year. All right, chat. Live stream next year? I don't think we'll. Yeah, I mean, I'll live stream like monthly. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I got a yearly sub on DVSL1. So if you're paying for a yearly sub, I kind of gotta be there. So I guess whenever the last yearly sub ends, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe. I'm open to it. But yeah, chat. Peace out. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, everybody. Peace, peace. Peace, peace. You said Christmas vlog? Later.
only thing that felt like home. I thought I had it all. Going through the messages that's stored on my phone. Requests like I'm not alone. You were the only thing that felt like time moving slow. Time moving slow. Time moving slow. Enjoy the time moving slow for you. We was gone off that old potion, hit that slow motion. What you got going rogue? Someone left the stove open, we too hot. It was double R. We was Range Roving with the Rocky Rolly Rolls Royce. Rough Rider anthem, just a drop. Shut them down, open up shop. Got my heart broke, I like that bitch a lot. Time moving slow, I ain't tripping though. I thought you had to know. Time moving slow, I just thought you had to know. Time moving slow. You were the only thing that felt like home. I thought I had it all. Going through the messages that stored on my phone. Requests like I'm not alone. You were the only thing that felt like time moving slow. Time moving slow. Time moving slow. Enjoy the time moving slow. Oh yeah. Enjoy the. Alright. Running. Believing you niggas, I see through you niggas, exceeded the limits, took over my story and rewrote the ending I did. Had to show up and deliver that shit. Had to yacht out on the ocean, I did. Go ahead and cry me a rippy, you bitch. You try to bring me to my lowest, I still brought the vision, I see through the blinds. When everyone is a sign of the times, niggas been falling behind. I got some images stuck in my mind. I gotta hit them the perfectest time. We finna get it this time. We going bigger this time. Feeling like Jig in his prime. Time moving slow. I thought you had to know. Time moving slow. I thought you had to know. Time moving slow. Enjoy the time moving slow. Oh yeah. Enjoy the.
Hey man, let's get it, bitch. Bitch, look, hey, look, hold on. I'm gonna show you how it's done in this bitch, man. We about to blow up and fall the fuck off. Let's get it. How you ain't got no bitches and you 6'2"? How you ain't got no job and you 6'2"? How you ain't got no car and you 6'2"? How the fuck your water out and you 6'2"? Niggas on Indeed and they 6'2". Nigga, go to the league, you 6'2". Get out that little ass car, nigga, you 6'2". You work at McDonald's and you 6'2". Niggas ain't got no bitches and they 6'2". Niggas 6'2", they taller than Goku. Niggas fucked up acting like they 5'2". Niggas fucked up and they 6'2". Niggas driving little ass cars and they 6'2". Niggas driving in a scat pack and they 6'2". Niggas got little ass feet and they 6'2". Niggas wearing small shirts and they 6'2". Niggas got little socks on and they 6'2". Niggas got small hands, they 6'2". Niggas can't jump a fence and they 6'2". Niggas skinny as fuck and they 6'2". Niggas fucked up and they 5'1". I'd be mad as fuck if I was 5'1". But that's how them niggas acting at 6'2". My auntie fucked up and she 5'3". My grandma fucked up and she 6 feet. Tim 6'1" and drive a Jeep. And that nigga got some little ass feet. How you ain't got no bitches and you 6'2"? How you ain't got no job and you 6'2"? How you ain't got no car and you 6'2"? How the fuck your water out and you 6'2"? Niggas on Indeed and they 6'2". Nigga, go to the league, you 6'2". Nigga, go and get some money, you 6'2". Nigga, be an electrician, you 6'2". Be a police officer, nigga, you 6'2". Get out that little ass car, you 6'2".
I think that's a good way to end